Endless sandy landscapes, the scorching sun, and the complete absence of people around. This is how one of the most famous deserts of the world of sugar is drawn in the imagination. It seems that the golden dunes have always been here. But it's not. When you look at sugar, it's endless sands and silent drums. I would like to know what lies under the millions of tons of sand. In this issue, I propose to take a trip into the past and find out whether this part of the African continent has always been arid and without a desert life. We will find out what is hidden under the sands of the Sahara, as well as uncover incredible facts about this mysterious place. The name Sahara comes from the Arabic word, which in translation means simply desert. Contrary to popular belief, the Sahara Desert is not the largest on Earth. The palm belongs to the Antarctic Desert. But among the usual deserts with sand, heat, and velvety Sahara. Indeed, in the first place, the desert area is more than 8.5 million square kilometers and occupies almost 1/3 of all of Africa. This desert is located on the territory of 10 African countries at once and is washed by the Atlantic Ocean, the Red Sea, and the Mediterranean Sea. Every year, sugar conquers more and more space. It expands to the south, advancing 5–10 kilometers annually. Perhaps, for many, the desert is associated with high bizarre sand dunes, velvet cacti, and the almost complete absence of vegetation and animal life. However, the sands occupy only 20% of the Sahara. The main landscape is made up of rocky plateaus. Although this region is really not rich in animals, nevertheless, there are about 4,000 species here, among which there are mammals, hamsters, carcasses, tanks, antelopes, jackals, dune cats, mongoose. Most of these inhabitants are nocturnal, and during the day they hide in shelter under the scorching sun. This is because the temperature regime of the desert is prone to large periods during the day. The average air temperature reaches 35 degrees. But the sun heats the sand twice as much. Therefore, a feeling of being in a hellish frying pan is created. The highest recorded air temperature is almost plus 58 degrees. And at night the desert cools down as quickly as it heats up during the day. Therefore, it is cold at night, down to 0 degrees. At the same time, frosts occur in the area of mountain rafts at night. The temperature drops to 18. It rains very rarely here. For example, in the central part of the Sahara every few years, the climate is dry and hot. On average, about 75 millimeters of precipitation falls year per year. A little. But morning dew is not uncommon. Snow fell in the Sahara. It was recorded in 1879 and 2012. True, he immediately melted. Despite the arid region, the Sahara has permanent lakes. For example, a group of Lakes Union. The only river that flows through the borders of the desert is the mighty Nile. Of course, the climate of the Sahara is not favorable for most representatives of the flora. However, scientists have more than 30 plant species in the desert, among which are the following: ficus, acacia fern, cacti, dates, new palm. Flora is most represented in the Kabar Highlands and Tibet, as well as in the north of the desert. Temperature fluctuations act destructively even on rocks, which under their influence crack and turn into sands. Thus, the desert replenishes its supply of sand layer. Sand dunes in the Sahara can reach 200 meters, which is comparable to the height of a 70-story skyscraper. Singing drones can be found in the desert. A special kind of dune, under the influence of the wind, the grains of sand that make up berg can begin to oscillate and make sounds, merge into bizarre melody. Mirages are another interesting desert sugar fact. How many people, traveling through the desert, saw suddenly appeared oases with water and palm trees, thinking that it was about 2 or 3 kilometers from them. In fact, sometimes you have to walk 500 or more kilometers to the nearest water. Mirage is an optical phenomenon in the atmosphere. There is a refraction of the flow of light at the boundary between layers of air of different density and temperature in the Sahara. More than 150,000 circulations are observed. There are even maps of places where they can be seen. The difference from reality lies in the fact that, together with the actually visible image of the object, its reflection in the atmosphere is visible. The main miracle of the Sahara and one of the main mysteries of the planet is located in Mauritania and is called Richet. It is a ring structure with a diameter of 50 kilometers and an age of several hundred million years. For a long time, the desert eye served as a guide for astronauts. After all, it is perfectly visible from orbit. And this is the only clear landmark in the vast expanse of unremarkable desert. There are several hypotheses explaining this phenomenon, according to one of which the appearance of a ring structure is the result of erosion. In the desert, rich deposits of gas and oil have been discovered in the Sahara. Under the influence of southern winds, monstrous sandstorms are born, which then fall on the surrounding countries and sometimes rage for several days. For example, every year powerful winds bring down clouds full of sand raised in the Sahara on the strange African country of Cape Verde, creating many inconveniences for local residents. Despite the harsh conditions, about 2 million people live in the Sahara, mostly Berbers and Tuareg. In medieval times, trade caravans traversed the desert, the largest of which, according to Arab historians, consisted of almost 12,000 camels. To uncover the most important secrets, you should delve into the very heart of this desert. Beneath the many rills is the treasure of the Sahara. There is very little water on the surface of the desert due to low rainfall. But under the sands of the Sahara there are vast pools of groundwater. It is thanks to this pool in the Sahara that you can find oases, areas rich in vegetation. Most of the oases here rise in those places where water from underwater rivers makes its way to the surface. It is hard to believe, but about 8,000 years ago, a green forest with lush vegetation towered on the site of the Sahara. Wide grassy meadows and clear lakes. The Sahara has its own Stonehenge, which is called Nabdi. This structure consists of 2 3-meter stones weighing several tons lined up in circles in 5 rows on a worm older than Stonehenge for more than 4,500 years, which makes it one of the most ancient and astronomical monuments in history. In the very center of the Sahara, archaeologists have discovered ancient rock paintings, indicating that primitive people once lived in these parts. Probably, in these places there were many settlements, people who cultivated the land and raised cattle. There was also a huge river, where it grows, which flowed into the Atlantic Ocean. It was discovered in 2015 using 3 black satellite images. They also found the edges of Lake Chad, which in ancient times was much wider, deeper than now, and was considered the largest on the planet. According to experts, in 10 or 12,000 years, people will again have the opportunity to see green sugar. Scientists have different theories as to why the green region turned into an arid desert. Some blame livestock, which consume so many plants that they have not had time to grow and reflect sunlight. And because the sun began to burn the earth and the remaining vegetation. Others, on the contrary, argue that grazing and transhumance extended the life of the Sahara by 500 years. Still others are sure that the Earth's axis is to blame, which changes its inclination every 20,000 years. Its displacement affects the intensity of sunlight. But if we dig even deeper into the history of the planet, we will find out that in the place of the Sahara in the era of stagnation there was an ocean. Huge progenitors of whales, fish, snakes, turtles swam there. And there were dinosaurs on the shores. But when the continents separated, the ocean disappeared. Deserts have always attracted the attention of explorers and travelers. These unique natural areas excite the imagination and frighten us with their mystery. Only now, thanks to modern technology, we are beginning to penetrate all the secrets of the Sahara. And, as we have seen, there are many of them. This desert has revealed many secrets. But she is still silent about many things in her majestic, serene. And who knows what secrets this place still holds? That's all for me. If you like it, please like and subscribe to the channel. See you.